the first one? Not yet? I'll give you like another minute. Thanks for that thumbs up. I keep wanting to say that with the in-person kids, like, hey, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on. And I'm like, that's just weird because they're just like, it's weird. All right, you guys look ready. So the title of this lesson is 8.1, Exploring Periodic Data. You already know what periodic data is. I can guarantee it. You just don't have you haven't learned the words to match it to yet. But I promise you already know what it is. I promise it's gonna be an easy lesson. So exploring periodic data. Are you ready for the key concept? Matthew, Genesis, and Juan, it would be really great if you turned your cameras on so I could see your beautiful faces. Our key concept, we have period, midline, and amplitude. The midline is not going to be a super important definition. The only reason we need it is to define the amplitude. So the period of a function is how long it takes on the graph, so the x value, for it to repeat. So if it's starting at the top, the next time it's going to get to the top, that would be one whole cycle. So the period is how long it takes to repeat one cycle, and that's going to be counted on the x-axis. And then your amplitude, you're going to look at your overall height, and you're going to cut it in half. So if the whole height of the graph is 10, then your amplitude is 5. Or if the whole height of the graph is 12, then the amplitude is 6. Does that make sense? Cool. Give me a ta-da when you're ready for the first example. This lesson is going to go by really fast. That's not a ta-da, but I'll accept it. 2 people are ready. Did it go away? Yeah, every time I switch to the side, it does that for some reason. I saw the look on your face and I was like, oh, I'll go back. And another thing I forgot to say, for it to be a periodic, like for us to consider it periodic, it does have to be horizontal the whole time. It can't be diagonal and it can't be vertical. It has to be going along the x-axis or like going from left to right. All right, example 1. Here we go. Tell me yes or no in the chat. Do you think this is periodic? Yes, I think it's periodic. No, I think it's not periodic. Tell me what you think. Yes or no? Is this periodic? So this one is periodic. So it does repeat as it goes along the x-axis. It maintains the same height the entire time. So we would say, yes, it's periodic. And we want to do the period and the amplitude. I know I didn't write that in the question, but we're going to do it anyways. So the period is how long it takes to repeat. So say I started up here. It's going to go down and then go back up. And then it's going to start repeating that same cycle. So that was one whole cycle. So it goes from 3 to 8. So the period is 5. Does that make sense? So just how long one cycle is. So our period is 5. And then our amplitude is, we're going to take the overall height. So from 6 to 0 in this case. Which is 6. And we're going to divide it by 2. So our amplitude is 3 in this case. So our amplitude is from the middle of the graph to the top or bottom. So far, so good? Hopefully not feeling too crazy. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready for example 2. All right. So in example 2, tell me yes or no. Is this periodic? Yes or no, is this periodic? Jade, you're correct. Alexander, you're correct. Juan, you're correct. Everyone else, you didn't respond yet. Oh, there we go. This is not periodic. So yes, it does have a repeating pattern, but it has to go strictly left to right. So this has a repeating pattern going diagonally, so we would say that it's not periodic. Are we cool with that? And you do have a question like that on your homework. You might have 2 on your homework where the graph is kind of going diagonally and it looks like it's a periodic function, but it's diagonal. So you're just going to say no. So since it's not periodic, we can't find the period or the amplitude. Example 3, you ready for it? All right, in example 3, tell me yes or no, is this periodic? All right, we're doing a lot better this time. Yes, this one is periodic. If you had to guess the period, or if you had to calculate the period, can you tell me what you think the period is in the chat? So how long does it take to repeat from the start of a cycle to the end of a cycle? Jay, Daniel, Alexis, you guys are all correct. So if I started the cycle up here, it doesn't really matter where you start it. It's going to go down and then back up, and then it's going to go down and then back up, then down, then back up. So this is one whole cycle from 1 to 5. So the period is 4. How about the amplitude? So calculate the overall height from the bottom to the top and divide it by 2. What do you guys think the amplitude is? You guys are doing great. So the amplitude in this question, if we look at the top, it goes from 4 to -4. So that overall height is 8, and we divide it by 2, which is 4. Easiest lesson ever, I hope. I'm going to give you guys quite a bit of time, maybe like 8 minutes. Let me see. What time do we get out? 1:20? 12:50? I'll give you guys 8 minutes to work on 8.1 homework. 8 minutes is absolutely enough time for you to finish the entire 8.1 assignment. Okay? So at 101, like the number of Dalmatians in the movie from a long time ago, at 101, we're going to move on to 8.2. Cool? So work on 8.1 homework. I promise you'll be able to do all of it right now. And I'm going to stop our recording.